Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar on Stereotactic QA solutions and what standard imaging has to offer. I want to introduce myself. I'm Andrea Zenz and I'm one of the product managers at Standard Imaging. On behalf of myself and my colleagues attending the Astro Show, we would like to welcome you and thank you for attending our webinar series. Just to note that this webinar is being recorded and will be available for viewing on our website shortly. Attendees are in listen-only mode, but you are encouraged to type questions you might have into the question box on the webinar console, and I will do my best to get to as many of them at the end of the talk as possible. Just a little bit on SI. Standard Imaging is based in Middleton, Wisconsin, suburb of Madison, and was founded in 1989. We design and manufacture a full suite of QA products for radiation therapy, and we are pleased to be your partner now and in the future on any of the QA needs you may have. Since we don't get to meet in person, I would like to personalize it just a little bit to let you know who is talking at you today. So this is good old me in my home office. I have been with Standard Imaging now for over 15 years, most of that in our sales department, but now I'm one of the product managers. I'm the mother of 3 great young adults, and in my spare time, my passion is really to build kaleidoscopes, oftentimes using upcycled materials to do so. It's a lot of fun. It can be very messy, as you can see, but the beauty at the end of it is always stunning. So now I suppose we should get on to the topic at hand for the day, shouldn't we? I'd like to talk about our Lucy 3D QA Phantom. That's our main SRS, so Stereotactic Phantom, but we will touch base on SBRT for a moment as well. So when you have, when you start a stereotactic program, you consider what your goals are for that. And you want to be sure that you're treating safe and effectively, because after all, you're delivering just a few fractions at really high dose rates, which is, daunting to say the least. So precision and accuracy in QA are of the utmost concern as you care for your patients, so products that provide that should be chosen carefully. Stereotactic QA goals, of course, include positional accuracy, dose accuracy, and validation of imaging, planning, and treatment systems. The Lucy Phantom is the gold standard used for end-to-end testing of the entire stereotactic treatment chain. The precision manufacturing of this Phantom allows the user to verify cumulative uncertainties of the treatment chain to within a 0.1 millimeter accuracy. This is accomplished by using a variety of inserts with precisely known volumes, geometries, and distances for accurate measurement. We work with each customer to tailor the best Lucy package to your department's particular needs. Lucy is uniquely designed to lock the Phantom and inserts in place to facilitate reproducible setup and measurement to these very tight tolerances. So scan, plan, treat, verify. Let's talk a little minute about CT. So Lucy is put through the same processes as an actual patient, which means that the Phantom will be scanned on CT and MR if you use both to start the treatment chain. It is therefore very important to perform a variety of QA tests on these imaging systems. For CT image QA, we offer marker cylinders down here in the bottom. Irregular volume inserts, we have a couple different flavors of that. CT densities, it's not, of course, the full 19 plugs for a CT Phantom, but it is an excellent spot check with air, adipose fat, trabecular cortical bone, and water, which is the blue background. CT scan sets may include various scan thicknesses to find the optimal thickness for SRS imaging, spacing, distortion, and Phantom orientation. So for MR, we have corresponding matching marker cylinders. These are mineral oil filled, as are the other inserts. Let's see. And we have the irregular volume inserts again. This one up here in the top right, the isocentric irregular volume insert, is certainly used on CT and MR. And then, of course, we have the signal generator and a distortion grid. We offer a distortion grid for CT, but that really isn't the biggest problem these days. People find that they have more issues with MRI than they do with CT as far as that goes. So we have a 3D printed grid here. So what do you use those for? You perform image fusion for CT to CT, CT to MR, and you can do a marker match. So you're verifying object reconstruction, compare scanned object volumes against known volumes, verify position of objects, their centroids, and the fiducial points. These are spaced at a known distance of 60 millimeters apart from cylinder to cylinder, and there's 5 fiducials in each of these, and it's 5 millimeters center BB to center BB on those. So again, known distances that are important. It's also important to note that we use an irregular volume because you very quickly notice any differences in alignment issues. We do have a couple of circles here, but just a circle or simple sphere, if you have a rotational issue, you know, an arc on a circle is an arc on a circle. That's not going to give you very much. So again, looking at what that looks like once it's imaged and planned against, and then you're going to treat and verify. So for the verification of this, you're going to use the traditional methods of film and small ion chambers or detectors. Note that our detector insert here is 1 centimeter thick. Therefore, the detector you use has to have an outer diameter of less than 1 centimeter. One of the unique aspects of our Lucy Phantom is that we use a device to lock the ion chamber or other detector in place. So you don't have to worry about any air gap or chamber displacement if you're rotating the Phantom, for example. The centroid of the collecting volume will be locked at that geometric isocenter of the Lucy Phantom, no matter the orientation. I also wanted to point out here that you can orient your detector either here, or here's another port which you can also use and come in from the side. That may be important. Say that you're using a diode, you need to come in from the side and then rotate so that your tip of your diode is perpendicular to the beam. Oh. All right. So what detectors should you or could you use for your stereotactic program? We certainly have spent a long time working and developing excellent QA tools for stereotactic in particular. 2 of those I'd like to bring up here today because they are very keenly important. One is on the right here is our X-Radon A26 micropoint chamber. It is made entirely of low-Z materials, so it's made to reference class standards, and you get a predictable response curve with this micropoint chamber. So it's like using a farmer chamber, but for your small fields. It has a spherical volume, so you have a spot size of 4.3 millimeter. But that, you know, it does have its limitations because of the field size, you know, with being within that spot size. So what do you do to go down? We do offer diodes, which is something that most people are very familiar with, and ours function like others. But what I'd like to hit on instead is our W2 scintillator. Now the fiber in here, it comes with 2 of them. One is a 1x3 millimeter, and that is legacy in comparison with our W1, if you will. They're users of both the W1, the first iteration of the device, and who move or upgrade to the W2, but they want, you know, that comfort factor of being able to measure in the same manner, and then move to the 1.1 millimeter, which is great great to use because, again, the orientation is not an issue. You have just the 1 by 1 millimeter. That is does not perturb the beam because, again, the materials that we use are of low Z. They are also waterproof, so you can use it in the version W2 is very easy to use in a water tank. Bias is not applied, so it looks like a diode to a 3D water scanning system. But you can very easily scan the smallest of small fields with a 1 by 1 millimeter detector. For more information on that, I would point you to my colleague Shannon Holmes' recorded webinar that she presented on Friday is now available on our website that talks a lot more in detail about the various concerns with measurement and what detectors are ideal or better suited for Stereotactic QA. Now, one of the inserts or parts, if you will, that we provide or offer with the Lucy Phantom is our Multimets insert. This middle one in here, blue, is target and avoidance structures in very tight tolerances. So they're a good challenge to your treatment planning system to be able to recreate those and really test your contouring and volume accuracy. It's blue water, so water equivalent material against high contrast bone rod material. And then we have the multiple film stack, which allows you to place film that will center across the plane of these various fiducials within the Multimets insert and do that verification via film, so that you're really able to go through the entire workflow with these inserts for a great end-to-end test. So what does that look like? Here you're scanning and planning, treating, and verifying. What does that look like? Here on the left, we're using the target and avoidance structures, that nice C shape. Here on the right, we're looking at a couple of the fiducials from the multiple metastases insert. And then, of course, end-to-end testing also includes being able to use that center fiducial. The Phantom is provided with a brass insert from the get-go. That one of the things that is also nice about the Lucy Phantom, it is MR compatible, MR safe. From the get-go, there are certain inserts, of course, that from the CT set that you would not use in MR. Excuse me. But the construction of the Phantom, the counterweight is brass, the center fiducial, the hidden Winston Lutz cassette, if you will, that we provide with the Phantom is brass. So again, MR safe in case you're using this on an MR Linac. We also offer a pointer for those people who prefer to do a Winston Lutz with a pointer and you don't already have one. For this test, you're using the plan, scan, treat, and verify for process QA, checking, position, dose tolerance, and dose distribution. Mechanical accuracy, of course, is tested with that Winston Lutz pointer, as I indicated here. For the Winston Lutz test, you can automate your results using our PIPS Pro software. Make it quick and easy. We can do this comb-based or MLC-based plans. Very fast and very accurate. So just to summarize on the Lucy Phantom, whether you use Lucy on its standard precision base or locked to the couch bar, or that you're using the Phantom in one of the system interfaces, you are sure that the centroid of your detector's collecting volume is at isocenter. You can be confident that when you are performing your SRS end-to-end QA, that you're doing it with the best precision and accuracy. So I would highly recommend that you contact one of our team or myself if you need any further details in order to really, like I said, tailor a package specific to your needs. Now, we all know that if you're starting a stereotactic program, we just keep it generalized like that. Most people aren't going for brain metastases. When talking to customers, I most often hear that they are looking to start with something like lung. These are larger tumors in other organs, like lung. So what are some good tools for that that you can use that come in at a lower price point, but that do the job that you need? So a package like that could consist of our stereotactic dose verification phantom, which also has an optional lung inserts. It comes in at a very affordable price and compact use, very easy to use. It's that step up from IMRT QA into the stereotactic realm. Film detector. You have some of the functionality of Lucy, if you will, with the target and avoidance structures in our QA slab, and again, that CT spot check. You have a respiratory gating platform in case you want to do some simple gating tests. You're going to be using detectors. You may want to use something, again, our A26, A16, diodes, W2. Using our Supermax electrometer is very flexible and a big bang for your buck in the electrometer world by going with the Supermax electrometer. And again, we have various types of Winston Lutz pointers. This one has a 3D micrometer stand. A lot of people who really want to hone in on their ISO center prefer to use this, but we have others available for you. So the nice thing about the stereotactic dose verification phantom is that it's versatile and compact at 20 cm by 20 cm, and then the height of which depends on what you're putting together. There are at least 4 standard configurations that you see here. This is with on the left is the film. The next to the right is the ion chamber, the QA slab, and the lung slabs here with embedded fiducials. We have a standard chamber plug, and we also have a chamber plug with gold markers, which is useful for some of the smaller tumors that you're wanting to position and see. As I mentioned, you are already in the QA slab. You've got the elements, some of the elements that we saw with the Lucy Phantom, and it's just really great. And it comes in, like I said, it's a very reasonable place to start. And with the heterogeneities offered between the lung material, the water equivalent material, you can do those Monte Carlo calculations, something that really isn't offered until you go up to much more expensive phantoms if you're looking at what else is on the market. So that really concludes my presentation on standard imaging solutions for stereotactic QA. If you have any questions, I'd like to give you the opportunity to enter those in the comment section. And while you are potentially doing that, I just would like to say a very big thank you to all of you for taking time out of your very busy schedules to be here with me today. This webinar, together with our others, will be recorded and available on our website. We have a few more webinars to go during this time of this week of Astro. So please look on our website to register for those. If you need any help, you need any further information, I highly encourage you to reach out to our sales team at sales@standardimaging.com, or of course you can reach out to me anytime. My email is listed here as well. So now I'm going to go take a peek over here at the questions to see if there are any, and I actually don't see any, which is amazing, but that's just fine too. So with that, I'm going to conclude this, let you get back to your day, and wish you all a very safe and healthy fall. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.